2.4, let's solve these equations. 2.4, let's solve these equations. Okay, if you notice, the directions say combine like terms. Well, the way I look at it is when you look at like terms, you have two families. All right. So you have I'm going to use the letter X because we don't use X for multiplication anymore. All right. And then I'm going to use, you might call it a hashtag, but it's really a number sign. All right. Well, not really a number sign. It used to be a number sign. All right. So the letters on this side, the numbers on this side. In general, if you work with that, it'll work with you, truthfully. So you want your letters on the left, you want your numbers on the right. Letters on the left, numbers on the right, and it'll be all right. So these families actually have names. So this family is the variable family, and this side is actually the constant family. All right, so we have the variable family and we have the constant family. So if you can keep that in mind, then one family is called the variables and the other family is called the constants. It'll all make sense to you because what we're doing when we combine like terms is we're making sure that the variables stay on their side and the constants stay on their side. So once again, the variables, we might use X, and we're going to use the number sign or the hashtag, as you may call it, for the numbers. Okay, so matter of fact, let's do this. Let's call them the V's and the C's. We'll call them the V's and the C's, okay? Good. So I'll look at this first problem. Number one, 3x plus 5 minus 10x. Well, this is a V family because it has a 3 and an X. The X having that letter next to it, that variable next to it, makes it part of the variable family. And this is a constant, plus 5. It's always going to be 5. And negative 10x. So since it's 10x, which is really 10 times x, that's variable. So keep that in mind. All right, look. 10x is really 10 times x. That's going to be important. Why is this important? It's going to be important a little later on when we look at doing inverse operations. Okay, so now that we have that up here, let me talk about inverse operations because it's going to be very important later on. When is it important? Later on, but we can work on it right now. So with inverse operations, we're going to have 4 operations. When we talk about mathematical operations, there are generally 4 of these mathematical operations, all right? And those 4 mathematical operations are plus or addition, minus or subtraction, all right? Multiplication, and division. Now, if you notice, when you look at the division sign, it has a dot, then a line, and a dot on the bottom. Keep in mind that this is actually a numerator and a denominator. So now that you're in high school, you may not even see the dot. You may not even see the dot. You just might see the numerator and the denominator. All right, numerator and denominator for division, okay? All right, does that sound okay? Let's move on. Let's solve this problem now, okay? Okay, so 3x and negative 10x, we can combine these two because they're part of the same family. And this person right here, the 5, since it's part of a totally different family, we can't combine it. So we're going to just place him right here, or her, or they. All right, so now we have 3x minus 10x. So in your handy dandy calculators, you can type in 3 minus 10. You can type in 3 minus 10, and you're going to go into the negative numbers. So hopefully you remember your negative numbers. That's going to give you negative 7, and it's negative 7x because it's a variable. It's part of the variable family, right? So your answer, your correct answer is going to be negative 7x plus 5. So that's your answer. That's your answer. Let's do number. I like number 2, but I think I want to go with number 4. Let's go with number 4. We'll do the same thing. Keep in mind that we have the variable family and the constant family. And you can cue the music. Dun, 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 here's the variable family. Dun, 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 and the constant family. So let's get these families to work together. Actually, they're going to work apart. So negative 4x, variable. Negative 6x, variable. So let's put a, do you see that? The negative sign? It's important that the positive or negative, so it's not just 4x, it's negative 4x. It's not just 6x, it's negative 6x. So we can combine these two. And now when I look at this and I see negative 4x plus 7 minus 6x or negative 6x, I say, okay, well, this is a constant family. So let me go ahead and put the constant family here. It's a plus 7, okay? And negative 4x and negative 6x. If I combine negative 4 and negative 6, when I do a plus or a minus, negative 4, negative 6, it's going to get me negative 10. So we have negative 10x, negative 10x plus 7. So when you put your answer in, you put in negative 10x plus 7, okay? Negative 10x plus 7. Okay. All right, so let's move on down the road, like they said in The Wiz. If you haven't seen the movie The Wiz, you've actually kind of missed out. Diana Ross, Nipsey Russell, not Nipsey Hussle, but Nipsey Russell. And who else was in there? Michael Jackson. Yeah, good movie. I enjoyed it. I actually saw it in the movie theater because I'm that old. Okay, let's go to this part. All right, so I'm going to fly through this section. I'm going to not do a lot of commentary. Right. We're going to fly through this section. We're doing distribution here. So do you remember how to distribute? So when you distribute something, you take it from one space and you move it to a different space. You might give it to multiple spaces. So if I'm going to distribute some candy bars, I'm going to take candy bars and I'm going to move them from Tommy's house to Jose's house to Caldina's house, back to Malik's house. When you distribute, you move things. And so now Jose, Tommy, Caldina, Malik all have candy bars because I distributed the candy bars to them, right? All right. So we're going to do distribution. And I spell horribly, D-I-S-T-R-U, distribution. Distribution. Okay, I might be wrong. I think I'm right. Okay, spelling is one of the areas where I have a hard time. So distribution, we're going to be doing distribution. So let's distribute. So to distribute, what we're going to do, what are we going to do? What we're going to do is distribute. We're going to distribute the 3 to the 2 things, in this case, that are inside of the parentheses. So 3 times x would be 3x, and 3 times negative 1, if you use your handy dandy calculators, you'll find that 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Okay? Equals 9. Now, here's the interesting part, because these directions say solve for the variable. Solve for the variable. So, if we're solving for the variable, in this case, solve for the variable, what is the variable? The variable in this case is x. The variable is x. So we want to know what x is. We want to know what x is. Okay, so how do we find out what x is? Well, we need to get x on one side of the equal sign, and whatever x is, whatever x, the value, whatever number x represents on the other side of this river. So I call this a river. All right, so equal is a river. Okay, so let's move things across the river. Across the river and through the woods. All right, so look, we have -3. We have 3x minus 3 equals 9. So I told you a little earlier that we have to do something with inverse operations. I drew it up here, and it's really kind of hard to see it right now. It's really kind of hard to see it right now. So I want to draw it again. I'm going to erase it from right here, and I'm going to draw it again. As a matter of fact, let's get rid of all of this. We'll get rid of that. You're gone. Bye. All right, so okay, so what's the opposite of multiplication? Division. Remember, and I told you we have 2 dots normally on division, but as we've grown up, as we've gotten older, we don't put the dots there anymore. You might see that on the calculator. Now you're going to see that on the calculator, but in fractions we're dividing, in fractions and dividing are the same thing, a numerator and a denominator. Okay, good. All right, and what's the opposite of addition? It's subtraction. Okay, so now we're back to our problem. All right, now we're back to our problem. So 3x minus 3 equals 9. Well, we want the variables on this side. We want the constants on this side. We want the letters to the left, numbers to the right. Letters to the left, numbers to the right. Letters to the left, numbers to the right. All right, letters are variables, numbers are constants. Cool, so let's do this. To move this -3, to get this 3 over here to the right, to the right, to the right, to the right, we're going to add 3 on both sides. All right, because here's the deal. I like X. I think she's kind of cute. And I don't want -3 near X. I want to be near X. And I don't want 3 near X. I want to be near X. I want to divide and conquer. I want to get X away from all X's friends. So yeah, that's what I want to do. So let's do this. Okay. So -3 plus 3. So if you have a negative number, it's like you owe somebody some money. So if you owe somebody some money, then you earn the negative. All right. So if you owe somebody $3 and then you pay them $3, you don't owe them anything anymore, right? It's beautiful, right? It's a good place to be. So when we have the -3 and the +3, since you owe them 3 and you pay them 3, they just you can just get rid of them. You can write them off your books. Nope, I don't owe you no more. You gone. All right. So that leaves us with 3x equals, because this river is an equal sign. 9 plus 3, let me see, 10, 11, 12. So 9 plus 3 is 12. Yeah, some of you are moving a little quicker than I am. All right, good. And so once again, I said I don't like 3. 3 is a big football player, and I want to be near X. I like X. I don't want 3 near X. So I want to get 3 away from X. How do I do that? I'm going to be divisive. I'm going to divide and conquer. I'm going to separate them. Yep, I'm going to separate them. And what I do on one side, I have to do on the other side. So 3 goes into 3 one time. So I can really just put a 1 here in front of my X, and 3 is gone. And now I'm number 1. I'm number 1. I'm number 1. And I'm next to X. 12, the numerator 12, now divided by the denominator 3, is 4. So x is 4. Now you're thinking, hey, you got a number 1 in front of that x. That's true, but if there's number 1, you don't need to show it. I don't need to show anybody that I'm with x. X better, act like they with me, so x equals 4. That's the answer. Let's do the same thing, and I'm going to do it very quickly. And I said last time I was going to do this without any commentary. So watch and learn. Okay. I'm trying not to I'm trying not to comment. Okay. Trying not to comment. Yep. Okay. So hopefully you see what I'm doing. Imagine there's a river here. There's a river right there. Oh, I'm okay. I said I wasn't going to speak. Okay. -5 plus 5 is 0. So I can get rid of -5x. If you owed somebody $10 and you paid them $5, how much do you owe them now? $5. You're getting out of debt. Debt is dangerous. So now I want x all by herself. So I want to divide by -5. Yep, I want to get rid of -5. -5 is a basketball player. I don't like, football players and basketball players around the x that I want to be with. Okay, so -5 divided by -5 is 1. And who's number 1? That's right. I'm number 1. Yep, you're right. Okay, so 5 divided by -5 is, you can use your handy dandy calculator on that. Okay, so x is -1. All right, good. Whew. A lot of work, right? A lot of work. Okay, but you can do this pretty quickly. And this is the process that we did. We distributed, we combined like terms, if that needed to happen. Then we undid using addition and subtraction. And then we undid using multiplication or division. So let's put this in practice one more time. Okay, so let's do it one more time. We're going to do number 2. I'm going to help you with number 2. All right, let's see. Do I need to distribute? Now, I put a parentheses around the word distribute. All right. I put a parentheses around distribute. If you don't see a parentheses, you don't have to distribute. So I've done that. I don't have to distribute. Now I need to combine like terms. Okay. That's part of the V family, right? What's the V stand for? Variable. All right. That's part of the variable family. That's part of the constant family. Do you remember that? Do you remember when we talked about that? We had the V family and we had the C family. The C family was the hashtag or the number sign. Remember that? And the V family, and a lot of times we use the letter X. Because we're going to solve for X, right? So you remember that, right? Good. I'll get rid of that. So we have the variable family and the constant family. Good. So 5x minus 12x. So 5 minus 12 is going to give me -7. -7x. And you see, I'm just going to drop down that +1 equals -6. Well, ooh, that looks messy. That just looks, that's a hot That's a hot, crazy mess. So I don't want, okay. Plus 1 equals 6. Now, we combined like terms, right? Now we need to undo with addition and subtraction. So I want to move this 1 because I want x by herself. All right, so I'm going to do the opposite. Do you remember the inverse operations? When we talked about inverse operations, we had multiplication, and the inverse of multiplication is division. And I told you we don't normally use the dots, right? This is a dot. It didn't look like a dot. That's multiplication. And then the opposite of plus or addition is subtraction. Okay. All right. So we want to move this positive 1. So what's the opposite of positive 1? What's the opposite of addition? It's subtraction. So we're going to subtract 1 on both sides. So these two cancel out. That gives me negative 7x equals, I have a line through my 7. I'll tell you why later. Okay, and negative 6 minus 1. If I owe you $6, then I mess around and I forget to bring my candy money and I have to borrow another $1. Now I owe you how many dollars? I started off owing you 6. Now I owe 7. So negative 7x equals negative 7. I want x by herself or by itself, by themselves. So what I'm going to do, that's the equal sign. This is the equal sign. What I'm going to do is divide. I'm going to be divisive. Okay. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 7. That will leave me with x. It's actually 1x, right? Because who's number 1? Okay. And negative 7 into negative 7 is 1. I told you I was number 1. All right. So our answer here is x equals 1. So you see how we did that? We distribute. So, what else did we do? Did we undo addition and subtraction? Yes, we did that. Yep. And then we undo multiplication, and that should say undo multiplication or, oh, actually, no. Undo multiplication. Yes. How did we undo multiplication? By doing division. So we did that too. Ooh, good catch. You caught it. Excellent. Excellent. All right. So what you have to do is you are going to be doing problems that look like this. And it's the same process. You're just going to follow along. Same process, just follow along. All right. Oh, here's a distribution. Let's do this one. Let's do number 4. Let's do number 4. Okay. Let's do number 4. All right. I'm going to just talk my way through this. A negative times a negative is a positive. So negative 5 times negative 3 is positive 15. Okay. Good. Now, we want to subtract 15 from both sides. So we distributed, did that. Are we combining like terms? We don't necessarily have to on this one, okay? Why? Why don't we? Why don't we have to combine like terms on this one? Because this side had negative 5x plus 15 equals negative 5. So on this side, it had the variable family and it had the constant family. They're already separated. Don't worry about the equal sign. We're only separating them on sides, on the equal side, all right? On their side of the equal sign. So we didn't have to combine like terms. All right. So 15 minus negative 15 is 0. You know, if you have $15 and now you spend it, you're at zero. So you spent your money, and see, you probably bought a liability. There's a big difference between assets and liability. Assets make you money, liabilities cost you money, and they don't give you additional money. So, you know, buying food and eating it, that's an liability. Buying food, cooking it, and selling it, that's an asset. See the difference? Okay. All right. So -5 minus 15. I owe somebody $5 for that beautiful vegan hamburger they made, right? And now I gotta get that vegan cake. All right. That's gonna be $15. So how much do I owe the proprietor, the store owner? $20. Man, that vegan food is expensive. I don't want to go back to eating burgers. You can get those for $1. You're going to pay later on in health, but -5x equals -20. So I've undone the addition and subtraction. And now I need to undo the multiplication. See, this is 5 times x. This is really 5 times x. So how do you undo multiplication? Do you remember? Remember we talked about the opposite of addition is subtraction. The opposite of multiplication is division. Remember we said that? I said it. I know I did. I know I did. So we're going to divide by -5 on both sides. -5 and a -5 is actually 1. If you use your handy dandy calculator and you divide -5 by -5, you'll come up with 1. And once again, if there's a 1, you don't have to put it there. So goodbye, even though that's me. That's me. All right. And -20 divided by -5 is 4. I think so. I'm going off the top of my head. You can use your handy dandy calculator and find out. But I think the answer is 4. So that's what you're going to do. So you saw how we handled that situation. Does that make sense? Does it make sense? I hope it makes sense. It better make sense. Okay. Let's these are interesting. So when you're working on these, x equals -2 and y equals 125. Even though you can use decimals to figure it out, you want to rewrite it. So x is -2. You want to rewrite it square minus the cube root of 125. So now we have -2 squared minus the cube root of 125. So you can use decimals and work that out. So use decimals and work it out. Put in your calculator. Good stuff. Coming to an end near you. All right. What's the correct algebraic expression, or the right way to write down 7 less than twice a number? Okay, I'm not going to give you the answer, but check this out. Twice a number. De doble de un número. Twice a number. That's going to go first. So whatever twice a number is, or 2x, is going to go first. All right. 7 less than. 7 less than. So if I'm 20 years old and I say, oh, my wife is 2 years less than me. If I'm 20, 20 minus 2, we get you to 18. Be back at 20 again. Okay, so we have 2x, 7 less. So it's going to be minus, well, I'm giving you the answer. I don't want to give you the answer. So you see where I was going. Hopefully that'll help you. And Find the cube root, you just type that in using decimals. This one is a little more challenging. Eat Cheap restaurant offers a dinner meal every Tuesday night. A group of 4 or more people pay a flat fee of $25. Okay, so it's a flat fee. You have 4 or more people, you're definitely paying $25. So this is the $25 plus $10 per person. So that's right here. $10 a person. Okay. So $10 a person plus the flat rate of $25. That's the entertainment cost. You go to some establishments, they have a live band, they have a live singer, live entertainment. And so you pay what's called an entertainment fee. So that $25 flat rate entertainment fee. And then the rest of it's going to be $10 a person for your food. So C is our variable. 10p is a variable because we don't know how many people, but we know our constant is going to be $25. We're paying $25 just from jump, regardless, okay? As people say. All right, so C represents the total cost and P represents the total number of people in the group. Right. What's the total cost if there are 15 people in the group? Okay, C represents the total cost. So we're solving for C. There are 15 people in the group. We know it's $25 off rip, right? $25 off the rip. And how many people? So it's 10. It's 10 times P. What is P? P are the people in the group. So it's 10 times. See what I'm pointing at? I hope you see it. I hope you see it. All right, so that's how we're going to solve that problem. So you should be able to take it from here. Take it from here and do well, okay? Make us proud. Make us proud because, yeah, make us proud just because. Make us proud. Take care and do well.